I think we all have things that you about yourself that you don't say out loud, like to too many people, because you are worried that if you do, people might be like, she's not a nice person. One of mine is that this could be like the most just disorganized and chaotic episode so far, but we'll go with it. But it is so hot that I refuse to record without this fan on. So if there's some humming in the background, do you know what I mean? We're just gonna have to grin and bear it, because I'm just gonna take a big deep breath. I sweat at the best of times, let alone when there is a heat wave. I'm not complaining though. I'm not complaining. I'm just expressing. I heard that this week from my friend Alicia, and I'm all for that. I'm not complaining. I'm just expressing that it is wham. I'm here for it. Manchester when it rains is the most depressing. Manchester's such a cool city, yeah, but I don't live in the city. I live on the outskirts, and the north is depressing as fuck when it rains. That is, when I moved from down south up north, that was the biggest thing. How everyone says that it rains up here all the time and how it's, miserable. And I was like, it can't be that bad. It really is that bad. And if you're not used to it, it's crazy. I really struggled with that. I found it really hard. And I remember Lewis saying to me, like, this is why Southerners are so soft, because you let things like the weather dictate your mood. And I was like, if that makes me soft, that makes me fucking soft. Do you know what I mean? Because I find this whole thing, this weather really difficult. So I'm grateful that it's sunny. I'm grateful that it feels like there is finally summer here. I'm grateful that I haven't got to wear jumpers. I'm grateful for the sweat. That's how I'm gonna reframe this. I just actually got off the phone from my best mate, who, I don't know if you have friendships like this. I have two friends. I think I've said this before, but I have two friends that I can say anything to, yeah. And I haven't got loads and loads of friends. Like it's quite a small group. And these two in particular are people that I can tell anything to. But I'm not someone that like speaks to my friends on a regular basis. I know that probably makes me a really shit friend, and I don't want to be a shit friend. But I need like low maintenance friendships, because when there's so much going on, and with work, with life, with just we know what it's like, yeah. Sometimes I haven't got the capacity. Like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh. And then what I'll do is like once a week, I'll go through my WhatsApps and like check in on people. But my two closest friends, I probably speak to the least, which is sounds weird to say it out loud. But when we talk about everything. So I finally managed to sort out it felt like COVID vibes. We did a coffee and catch up FaceTime style thing this morning, and we jumped on at 9:30, and it is now, what time is it now? Fucking 25 to 12, and we got off like maybe 20 minutes ago, and just spoke about everything. And she's just messaged me. What did she message me? And she just said, oh my God, I just love you so much. I feel like a new girl. And I was like, same, in capital letters with like 6 kisses. You know how sometimes you just need to speak to people that you just know are going to get it. And it's like, oh, that's what I needed. And when I then initially first got off the call, I did have that, oh my gosh, there's so much I wanted to do today. Oh, have I just like wasted time? Like I felt like an immediate stress at the fact that it was like gone 11 and I hadn't technically started work. I had a few little, you have like your admin jobs that you do. I did them this morning, but I hadn't done anything else, and I started to panic. And then I had to be like, no, you needed to speak to her. And I've got a real intention at the moment. Well, for this year, my intention for this year was to try and slow down and acknowledge that doesn't mean that I'm not working hard or I'm not doing enough. If I'm just taking, like, I don't have to feel stressed and anxious and like I'm behind all of the time. It's okay to take like a lunch break and to have a slower morning and to do all these things and talk to my best mate and catch up, who I haven't spoke to in ages, who literally just biked, by the way, from East London to Amsterdam with her fiance and her best mate. I literally said to her, I said to Lewis when we were talking about Ellen, my best friend, doing this trip, I was like, Ellen and Joe, that's her fiance. I was like, Ellen and Joe just live. Like, you know, those friends that you've got, those people in your life that you just feel like they actually live. And I don't feel like I'm doing much living. I was like, I just need to speak to her again, because just being around her makes me realize that I can live too. It's like that weird feeling of, you kind of feel like you're just surviving, or you're just going through the motions and you're not really doing anything. Like, sometimes at the end of the day, I'll look back and be like, was there anything that happened today that I would be like, want to relive, or be like, that was a really amazing thing? And amazing doesn't need to be like going on a trip or doing anything crazy, but just like, did I have a minute where I felt really grateful, or really had a good conversation, or really helped someone, or had connection, or just fucking enjoyed myself, just watched something, or just proper laughed? Like, on that call today with Ellen, like, I laughed like so hard. And then sometimes you're then like, when was the last time I laughed that hard? Yeah, you've got to laugh that hard, I think. That's what I'm trying to do this year. So I'm just accepting that my day's starting a bit later today, and that's okay. Also, Lewis is away. So Lewis left really early yesterday morning, and he's not back until late tomorrow night. So technically it's like 3 whole days, just me and Rogue, who is on the floor asleep because he's not handling. He loves the sun, but I can't let him be in the sun for too long because he'd lay in it like a big potato, and I worry that he'll overheat. So he's just laying in front of the fan now. And this is one of the things that I don't say out loud to, you know how we all have, I think we all have things that you, about yourself, that you don't say out loud, like to too many people, because you are worried that if you do, people might be like, she's not a nice person. One of mine is that I love being alone. I love my husband. I love it when he goes away as well. He coaches American football, and when he's out on a Sunday or a Wednesday night, and that's no reflection on my feelings towards him or my relationship with him. I actually feel like I'd be that with anyone. I just love being on my own. I need time on my own every week to just be. And my actual day-to-day actions might not look any different to when he's here, but it's like I just need a bit of time on my own. My best mate also really gets that, so I can say that to her. As soon as she answered, I was like, Lewis is away, and she was like, oh, are you having the dream? I was like, yes, I'm just having a little moment on my own. What are some other things that's one of the things I feel like people might understand. The second one is one that I'll share it. I'll share it because maybe someone else feels the same way. The second thing that makes me feel like I'm really different to everyone else, and I'm sure I'm not, because I don't believe I'm that special or that individual, that no one else has this thought as well. I just haven't ever met anyone that has also had this thought. But mine is that my wedding day wasn't the best day of my life, and I wasn't actually excited about my wedding how it appears other people are when they're getting ready to get married, and it's like they're dieting for it or prepping for it, or they've got so much to sort out for it. My wedding never felt like that, and the day of my wedding was like, there were parts of it that was amazing. There was parts of it I actually really didn't enjoy because we had a small wedding. Intentionally wanted a small wedding, and I didn't want everyone being in the room. So we got married at a registry office, yeah. So I went with my dad early before everyone else, and I did decide. I woke up with Lewis. Okay, let me rewind. When we didn't do like a really traditional wedding, we stayed together the night before because like fucking Are you kidding me? Like, we've slept together how many times and we lived together. Like, I wasn't going to be away from him the night of the wedding. Like, he makes me feel relaxed and makes me feel calm. So I wanted to wake up next to him. Woke up with him. Then Ellen, who I actually spoke to this morning, my best mate, she was my best gal. So she then came round to the suite in the morning. Me, Lewis and Ellen all had breakfast together. It was lovely, so chilled. And then he went off to his families and me and Ellen got ready. And then me and my dad went over to the registry office, and basically they put you in a room. We did choose to do this, okay, but I don't think I properly thought it through. They put me in a room and I waited in that room, obviously, until everyone was there before I would then, I suppose, walk down the aisle. But I'm in this room, like, getting very nervous, very sweaty. We've established by now that I'm a very sweaty person. And I'd already said to Lewis, look, when you take my hand, it is going to be wet with sweat. Please don't draw attention to it, because I'm already going to be so embarrassed that people are going to see it. I'm already so embarrassed that my sweaty upper lip is going to be on the pictures, on the video. Please, can we not draw attention to it? Because I know I'll be a sweaty mess. And he was like, that's fine. So I'm in this room with my dad, and then my dad goes out, I think. Again, I can't fucking remember it because I think I was so anxious. And I'm just listening to everybody arrive and everyone in there while I'm on my own in this room. And I was like, this is so, everyone's going to turn around and stare at me when I go in. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, what is going on? And I said to the guy, I was like, the registrar or whatever, I was like, are other people this nervous? I was like, because I'm really nervous. He was like, yeah, other people get nervous. And I was like, no. Like, I want the record to state that I want to marry this man, but I am, it's making me feel ill. Do other people feel ill before they do this? And he was like, yeah, they do. And we walked in. And obviously, I can't remember walking down the aisle. I remember it because we've got pictures of it. I actually can't remember. I don't know what we said. I know we picked the vows before. I can't remember what we said. I just remember looking at Lewis and being like, ugh, everyone is staring. I am so sweaty. I remember doing this, which I do all the time, because when I get nervous for anything, I sweat. And I was like, I can't touch my nose and my mouth again because everyone is actually staring at me, like, because it is our day. It wasn't like, you know, when you're out somewhere and you think everyone's looking at you and you can be a bit like, no, other people aren't looking at me, like, it's not important. But I was like, no, they're actually here to look at me. So everyone can see that I'm a sweaty mess. Oh, and it was just so I can't remember that bit. Then we had our dinner. There was like 20 of us. That was my favourite part, just us in this room above this pub that I love in Manchester with the best food ever. And then the following day, we then did a big party. And even at that party, I was so nervous before I went because there's just so many people in one room. And I felt like I was watching everybody else have a really good time. And I was trying to speak to everyone, but I was still like, this is this. I don't really love huge crowds like that. I sound horrible. I don't really love huge crowds like that. My favourite part of the whole thing was Lewis had arranged a flash mob with all of my friends and my dad and my brother. Literally, and also like 3 days before our wedding, my dad had basically had like another mini heart attack, which was crazy. So we didn't even know if he was going to be at the wedding. So I think that was like a whole stress on its own. But they did this routine, and my dad and my brother did the little dance break to It's Britney Bitch, which was the best thing ever. And then after that, Lewis DJ'd for an hour, and his set was incredible because it was all the music that we love. So that was the best thing. But even during that night, people would come up and be like, oh my God, have you had the best day ever? Have you had the best day of your life? And I was like, you asking that is making me feel like there's something wrong with me. Because yes, there have been times that have been really nice, but you asking me if this is the best day of my life makes me feel like I've done something wrong, because it doesn't feel like that. I have had, just to make it crystal clear, I have some of the best days of my life have been spent with my husband. No question. Like, I've had the best memories I have are with him. It just wasn't on our wedding day. It was a great day, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to be married. I wasn't overly fussed about the wedding. I also have never been one of those girls that just dreams about getting married. That was never something. I created a Pinterest board when obviously we knew we were going to get married, because I really wanted to wear a suit, and I didn't like wedding dresses, and Pinterest was really good to see different things that people were wearing for weddings, because I was like, at this rate, I'm going to turn up in a tracksuit because I don't like anything. So that was it. But yeah, so when people are like, oh my God, my wedding, like, was your wedding the best day of your life? Or sharing stuff. We have a brilliant video, by the way, of our wedding that I share on our anniversary that I love looking back on. And I will always celebrate our anniversary. Of course, that's like so cool that we are married and I'm married to my best friend. But the wedding day, no. It was fun. It was lovely. Like, but it's not, yeah. So that's something. If you also feel like that, you're not alone. But, or maybe this is what I don't say out loud and I'm just saying it into this microphone because it feels like I'm saying it just to myself, but people might hear it and then be like, oh my God, she's a dick because that wasn't the best day of her life. But yeah. So anyway, let's actually get into the fucking episode. How long have I been talking shit for? It's the heat, I think. So what I wanted to speak about today is I've set a goal, guys, and I've set a fitness goal. And I haven't set a fitness goal for years. We had an event last Friday. Every quarter, we have an event with all of the coaches that Lewis works with. And they set goals and blah, 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 and that go through what we're aiming for, whatever. So we had the event. The event was really great. And then afterwards, we went for food. And I was sat opposite two girls, two of our friends, and talking about different fitness goals or whatever. And we started talking about fitness and whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I just don't think I don't really stick to anything anymore. Like, I'm not really that kind of person. Like, I used to be the fit girl in my 20s, but that's not really who I am. I just feel uncomfortable in the gym. Like, I'm not used to that, blah, 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 going off. And Jess turned around and was like, I'm only hearing excuses. And I was like, okay, that hit a nerve because she's right. But also the other half of me wanted to be like, fuck you. But I wanted to be like, fuck you, because she was right. I know there are excuses. I make excuses all the fucking time. And we have a retreat. So we're doing the first ever Amplifier retreat. We're going to Marbella the first weekend in October, which is obviously 3 months away. So we've decided, those of us that are going on the retreat, or the coaches are, we're going to set some sort of fitness goal or something that we can try and hit at the retreat when we're all together, and it will be sick and it will be cool. Like the group of people that are going, it will be really, really fun. So I got bullied, positively peer pressured into setting a goal around deadlifting, because Jess was like, what kind of lifts do you see people do that you think are really cool? And I was like, I think it's cool when girls can deadlift. And I used to be able to deadlift. The most I ever deadlifted was 100 kilos, and I could do that for 3 reps. This was back in 2019, guys. So we're going back a long time. And I haven't then picked up a barbell or done any sort of deadlifts since I thought it was 2022. I think it was 2023, the beginning of 2023, but still not like, it was like, oh, I'll just do 10 reps of 3 sets of 10 reps of deadlift with like, I'm not training for strength, not literally just pissing about. Yeah, I feel like I've just been pissing about in the gym for the last like 3-4 years. So we decided on 80 kilos. And then, because we were laughing about my toxic mindset and I feel like I need some sort of consequence, we set like forfeits. We decided on what could our forfeits be if we can't get it. And mine is that I'm going to have to eat a burger. And the reason that's a big deal is because I don't eat animals. I'm a pescatarian. I'm very close to becoming full vegetarian, because this is so wild, but I didn't realize that. I also feel like I'm just outing myself as like the dumbest person in the world when I say shit on this podcast, but it is what it is. I do eat tuna. I eat fish, yeah. Have you ever seen a picture of a tuna? Like, they're actually massive. It reminded me of a dolphin. And then because I got in my head that it was like a dolphin, I then was like, I don't know if I can eat fish anymore, because I'm like in my head just imagining this little tiny thing, which makes it easier for me to eat it, yeah, because it's just small and it has like, it doesn't know that it's even fucking alive. It don't fucking know. No, I don't think that's the case. But anyway, pescatarian. But I love cows. I feel like Rogue looks like a cow as well. So cows are like, cows and pigs. Oh, no, I just cannot. Like, no. Best animals in the world. So my forfeit is I have to eat, and it was a burger, but probably not even a burger, like an actual bit of steak. Like, it needs to look like flesh, because I know I'm going to get that deadlift, not because I'm like motivated to go and fucking train, but I cannot eat an animal. So that is this goal that I have set myself. So I knew a second that I set it, I messaged my coach, because I do have a coach. How she puts up with me, I have no fucking idea. But yeah, I do have a brilliant coach, Sarah. And I knew as soon as I sent the message that my behaviors and my actions were going to have to change if I was going to do this goal. Because I was like, there's no way in hell she's going to have me do a deadlift goal if I don't send her form videos. And I don't send form videos because I don't like filming in the gym, and I don't like going at the gym and them, all of this stuff. Yeah. So straight away I was like, I'm going to have to start changing. I'm going to have to start changing who I am and doing different actions to make this even happen. So that did get me a bit excited, because I was like, okay, so like this week I had to move my routine around so that I purposely go to the gym in the afternoon when it's quieter. I took my tripod, I filmed myself so she could see my form, so she could give me proper feedback, because also I do have a bit of a dodgy lower back. So I need to, like, I don't want to eat an animal, but I also don't want to break my back in the fucking process and end up like a cripple. Like, I do want to do this properly. So setting that goal has already made me change like routines and behaviors, which I think is quite cool. And it's literally only been a week. So I'm feeling really positive about it. Like, I'm feeling really positive about it. And I think as well, sometimes having a goal, something that I really struggle with is I will often hear, and people will say to me, and I say it to other people as well, to be fair, so I'm guilty, but like, you have to do it for you. This is something I've banged my fucking head against the wall so many times. When me and Lewis have gone to set our goals for like the year or the quarter or whatever, and he's like, you have to do it for you. And I'm speaking to the people now that have been in a really low place before, or maybe you are in a really low place, like mentally. Sometimes, like, I have had periods when my mental health has been in the fucking gutter. It probably hasn't been the best this year, to be fair, but that's also why I'm like doing so much to try and push myself out of my comfort zone, and I'm going back to therapy, and I'm really trying to figure shit out, because I'm like, my brain can't be like this for the rest of my life. Like, I need to find a way to live happier inside my own head. So something that I always struggled with is like doing it for me, like setting like this. The reason I like the forfeit of the animal thing is because I care about that cow more than what I care about myself. And I think sometimes when you're feeling really down and you haven't got maybe the best self-esteem and you don't like yourself, it's hard to set goals that are for you, because if you don't give a shit about yourself, why the fuck are you going to do something for yourself? So I know some people are like, you shouldn't ever set a goal for someone else. I actually think setting a goal for someone else can be a really fucking good starting point, because if you have other people in your life that you care more about than you do yourself, which if you've been in that negative headspace is very possible. Like, there's a lot of like stuff like Rogue is, I would die for this dog. Like, this dog is raw fed the most expensive whatever meat shit things that we give him. Bear in mind, I don't eat meat, but it's best for him, so he will have the best of everything, like treats. Like, I would stay in the house like these few days that Lewis is away. If I let myself spiral into the pit, I wouldn't leave the house. I don't care about my own health. Yes, like, being completely honest, if I get in that place where I'm really low, am I not going to walk him? No, this boy needs to be walked. He can't suffer. Like, I love him. Like, he is going to get walked. He's going to get taken care of. All of those things. I care about his well-being more than my own. So it makes me do stuff because I care about him. Then because I'm doing this stuff, getting up early, walking him before it's too hot to walk him, because of course I'm not going to let him walk in the heat, like little things like that. I then feel better in myself because I'm taking those actions. But I didn't do that action, let's be honest, for myself. I did it for the love of this perfect creature next to me. Yeah. So sometimes I think it's okay to not have goals that are like particularly for yourself. That can be a starting point, and that's all right. So if you're thinking of setting a goal and you're like, give yourself a forfeit. I don't care if it's toxic. Give yourself a forfeit. Give yourself a sacrifice. Do it for someone else. Like, if you hit this specific goal, you will then take your mum for dinner. Or if you hit this financial goal that you've got, you will then take your husband on holiday. Whatever it may be. But having that outside thing, I think really helps. Really helps. I used to think there was something wrong with me when Lewis would be like, but you have to do it for yourself. And I'd be like, I don't give a shit about doing it for myself. Like, I am obviously on the road of getting better for that, but I'm talking about those points when you're really not great. Like, yeah. And even now, like, I'm pushing myself now a lot more out of my comfort zone to do stuff because I do want my life to look different and I do want to enjoy myself. But also the knock-on effect is when I am doing this stuff, and I am feeling better in myself, I am such a better wife. And I love my husband. So of course I'm going to think of that. I'm such a better friend. Like I had this phone call with Ellen this morning. Like I do that. Like I'm better for the people around me. And I really love the people around me. So on the days when I'm like, I could just stay in bed all day, I do think of them. And I think that's okay. Something that came up in therapy as well, which I just thought was really cool and I wanted to share, because I spoke about this goal and how I'd set it and how I had to whatever. And we were starting to talk about the fact that this for me 8 years ago wouldn't have been like it would have been like who I was. Like the people that knew me 8 years ago, it was like, yes, Maria went and she deadlifted and she was healthy and she was fit and she did all this shit. I'm not that person anymore. And I think I'd kind of told myself, there's no kind of about it. I fucking know I was. I was telling myself the lie that like, oh, I didn't want to be that person anymore. And telling other people, that's not who I am anymore. But that is who I want to be again. It's just the fact that I felt really scared and it feels uncomfortable to then be like, oh, wow, I used to be good at this thing and I used to feel confident in this thing. And now I really don't. And it's like being a beginner again and starting again, so to speak. And that feels really scary. So it felt the discomfort of like not being happy in my body or in my, in my fitness levels didn't feel comfortable, but it didn't feel as uncomfortable as doing the hard thing and putting myself out there again with that. So I was like choosing that discomfort, but now I'm like, no, I want to try and get back to that. And I was just talking about saying like, I don't recognize myself. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I think a lot of people feel like that. I really do. And because every time I say it to someone, like every time I'm like brave enough to say to like someone closest to me, like, no, I think I'm having some sort of crisis. Like, I don't know what is life? Who am I? What am I doing? 9 times out of 10 people are like, oh my God, absolutely the same. And we were talking about that in therapy and just like how I don't know who I am, who am I? What do I like? Like, I don't know what I like anymore. Like, was that me? And am I different now? Or was that never me? Like just spiraling around it. And the way I then described it, so I like analogies, yeah. And I like visualizing things. So she will often say stuff to me like, I think it's like you're on a boat and all the different parts of your personality are rowing the boat together. And then sometimes there might be a part of your personality, maybe like the anxious part or the scared part, that then gets a bit too like in charge and starts to lead the boat. And we don't want that to be the case where that part of you is leading the boat. We want to all be working together because we might make different wrong or not useful decisions if like my anxious state is riding the boat or like my scared state is riding the boat kind of thing. Riding the boat, rowing the boat, whatever the fuck you do with a boat. And so then I was imagining like, okay, so maybe we're always trying to discover more of who we are when we never will know who we are. We think we know who we are, we're not. Every time we get older, we're finding new parts of ourselves and new things of ourselves. So I then, in my head, was like, maybe we are, just go with me on this, I'm very aware this might sound crazy. We are like a house. So this first 36 years or whatever, I've been living on like the first floor of the house. Or maybe the first and the second floor. Yeah, the first and the second floor of the house. And all I've done now is as I've got older or I'm discovering things, I've gone up to like the next level of the house and I don't know what's up there. And I'm thinking that I don't know who I am anymore. But I could just go downstairs like that. Those old versions of me are still there on like the second or the first floor. But I'm now up on this third floor just trying to find new different rooms, new different things of me. And she basically said that Rumi, I don't know if I'm saying that right, some sort of philosophical. Mate, I'm fucking so thick. I'm dumb as shit sometimes. Like this guru, not guru, whatever, spiritual person often says that we're like a home or a house, and you can have like different furniture in your house, and you can sometimes get rid of different furniture and have a car boot sale or whatever. So I took from that when she said that to me that basically I'm a genius, because if he's this genius man that says about us being a home, I've then come up with this house analogy all on my own. So obviously I'm fucking gifted too. So I'm now really trying to lean into that of like, I'm just now discovering this new level of my house and this new level of my life, and who me being like, I don't know who I am. I am still all those people that I were. They're still there, but they're on different levels. And we don't know how high this house is going to go up. And I might have a balcony. And then my therapist was like, just imagine the view as well when you get to the top. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So if you're also feeling just a bit, if you resonate with any of that, maybe you think I'm fucking crazy. But if you do resonate with any of that and the house thing helps you, like be like, oh, okay, cool. We're just finding different rooms in our house, just finding different rooms in our mind. And we can change the furniture and we can do different things. And, you know, that's exciting. Nerve-wracking, but it's exciting. And I even said to her, we fucking knock this whole shit down and build a fucking extension. She was like, yes. I was like, okay, I like this. So it's helped me like reframe just how I was feeling about things. And I think it's quite useful. So yeah, I have got 3 months to pull 80 kilos for a rep. I think I might be able to do more, you know. I don't want to get too cocky. I did 20 on the bar and the bar was 20. So 40 for like 10 reps or whatever, which wasn't heavy enough. I know I'm halfway there. My form isn't great. I also put it on stories and was like, I know I'm going to get people correcting my form and that's fine. I know it's not great. This is just me documenting the beginning bit. If you have a goal that you're working towards over the next like 3 months for like Q3, please let me know in the comments. Please share. I really want to encourage that. And I would love to know, and we can see who gets there. If you found the house analogy good as well, if you also think I'm a genius, please tell me. If you don't think I'm a genius, don't tell me, because I'll just need to know that I'm a genius myself. But that's all I have for this episode. And yeah, if you're figuring out who you are, if you're feeling a bit lost, if you don't know who you are, it's okay. We're all going through it. We're all, I swear, it's just part of, everyone is doing it. You're not on your own if you feel like that. And just try and think of the house and you're just on a new level and we're just figuring this shit out. Okay, guys, I'll speak to you soon.